Cheers, VC. Back for another vinyl update and, some of this stuff. I've just learned to froth my coffee with all the little um, frother thing that frothes your coffee. I guess frothes. That's probably not the right way to say it, but anyway. Uh, yeah. I got a little bit of vinyl here to show, and but starting off before I show the vinyl, this is a book that I found at Half Price Books the other day, and I pretty much went through the whole store and was just making another round back through some of the sections that I hadn't looked at, and out of the corner of my eye, I seen this and thought, "Oh my God!" And I always look for it every time I go out. I always look for it. I had it as a kid, and I don't know what in the world happened to it. I say that quite a bit. It's like I know how I like to hang on to stuff, so I don't know why in the world I would have got rid of it. But it's 101 Uses for a Dead Cat. And it's just a humorous, book. I have cats, we know this. And I wouldn't really try any of this with my cats. So, don't worry. But there's one in here. I mean, the whole book is hilarious. But there's one in here that I thought was so funny when I was a kid. It's using the cat as a pencil sharpener. So don't try this at home. So yeah, there's that. And then I picked up this Hanson Middle of Nowhere. I already have this like probably 3 times, 4 times. I was probably going to use the CD as a coaster. It's probably what I was going to do. Same way with this one, Hanson Snowed In. I already have this one probably at least one other time. So I was going to do the same thing with that one. And then this one I'd never seen before. This one was at Goodwill too. It's, let me see, make sure I say it right. It's The Cure. Mixed Up is the name of the album. I'd never seen this one. This is all like different mixes or extended versions of their popular songs. And anything The Cure that I don't have, of course I'm going to pick it up. This one has A Lullaby, Close to Me, Fascination Street, The Walk, Love Song, The Forest, Pictures of You, Hot, 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 Caterpillar, In Between Days, and Never Enough. And all of these are like extended mixes or specific types of mixes. So I didn't even know this existed, so there's that. And then this one, I must have this already because it's on my iPod. I mean, the whole thing is on my iPod. But this was, it was like in the clearance at Half Price Books, so I went ahead and picked it up anyway because I wasn't sure if I had it. It's a Saturday Morning Cartoons, Greatest Hits. I love the artwork there on that. And it has basically 90s bands doing themes from cartoons. Mainly cartoons from the 70s and I don't know if there's any 80s ones on here. Or yeah, I guess a few of these from the 80s too. This came out in 1995, and I just think it's really good. There was another one that came out at the same time, or around the same time. I can't remember what it was. It was a tribute. Well, there was one that was tribute to the Carpenters, which I'm looking for that one. It's called If I Were a Carpenter. But then there was another one, too, that came out. I want to say it was commercials or something, but... and then I picked this one up, the Bossa Nova Exciting Jazz Samba Rhythms, the Rare Hits Collection. These were also in the clearance rack or whatever. So I haven't listened to these yet, but I'm going to put them on my iPod. This one has a lot of artists I'm not familiar with, but then it also has Chris Montez is on here, Martin Denny, the Continentals, Bossa Jazz Trio, Charlie Byrd, Nelson Riddle Orchestra. So it has a few that I recognize. And then this one, From Latin to Jazz Dance, That one's chapter 1, and the other one is, I guess that's what they're called, chapter 1. But we got some painted ladies there inside of the CD. But this one has Earl Grant, the High Lows, the Champs, Mongo, Santa Maria. So some of these I know, some of them I don't. And then this one, The Sound of Bossa Nova, Brazil, Brazilian Classics, Bossa Nova. This is 2 CDs. And this one wasn't in the clearance, but it was really cheap. So, I don't have much of this stuff on CD. So, I don't pick up a lot of CDs, but from time to time. And this one, I don't think any of these, let's see. Oh, yeah, there's some on here I recognize. There's Herbie Mann, Walter Wanderley, great artist. Bud Shank, Stan Getz, Sergio Mendes, Charlie Bird is on this one. Cannonball Adderley. Yeah, so there's quite a few. And numerous songs by some of those artists I mentioned, and then other artists too. On to the vinyl. Let me take a frothy drink here. Today, by the way, is Bruce Lee's birthday. And this was a coincidence. I put this shirt on yesterday evening and woke up this morning and it was Bruce Lee's birthday, so I have to wear it again. It's also Eddie Rabbitt's birthday today. And who else? There was someone else. I can't think of it. Today is November 27th. It's it's David Rock Nelson's birthday. If you know him, he made that movie, The Devil Ant. But who was the other one? Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, you've heard of him? That guy. So yeah, today was all those people's birthdays. I sort of keep track of people's birthdays. I think it's sort of interesting. Okay, on to the vinyl. This one was in the dollar bin. I think all of these might have been in the dollar bin when we went record shopping weekend before last. This one's called Stubby, Very Live at the Golden Bee. And, it's just one of those crazy looking record covers that I go for. It says to Doris, all the best, Stubby. Very live. And this has the entertainer, patriotic melody, spiritual melody. There's a bunch of melodies, or medleys is what I'm trying to say, not melody. Bumblebee, the Bumble Boogie, Heart of Heart medley, Irish medley. Yeah, so this was produced in Dallas, Texas. But it says Stubby is a native of St. Louis, Missouri. So he had appeared on the Mike Douglas show at one point. But I think everyone was on the Mike Douglas show. I used to watch that all the time, or my mom did, rather. And then we have 20 Original Winners, Volume 2. And this is just like a lot of, I don't know how many volumes there were of this. This is a lot of the old 60s hits, I guess you'd say. Roulette. I think that's the same label that Tommy James is on. But it's got Frankie Lyman, the Spaniels, Maurice Williams, Little Anthony, the Coasters, Monotones, Cadillacs, the Turbans, a lot of that stuff. And then I also have this one, Volume 4. And I think this picture here was on an 8-track that my dad used to have, or it's at least from the same photo session. I know that one probably is too, but this is basically the same thing, just different songs, different artists. Neil Sedaka, The Crests, Johnny and the Hurricanes, Paul Evans, the String-Alongs, Bo Diddley, the Cadets, the Bobettes, Crystals. So yeah, I think this one's probably on the same label. Yep. And then this one looked very interesting. It's a Jodler Unzither Grisette Me Sep. I'm assuming it's probably Austrian or maybe German. And it's autographed up here, or someone wrote that up there. I don't know which. The name of the album. So there's that. Let's see if it says here at all. It's recorded in Florida, of all places. Sarasota, Florida. So that's sort of funny. There's some yodeling on here, and it's in German, so that ought to be great. How often do you hear yodeling in any language? And this record here, I have had, and probably still have, somewhere in these stacks. I had this record when I was a kid, but I'd never had the sleeve. I don't know where I got it at, but I used to play it a lot. And a lot of these songs that's on this record, I'd never heard anywhere else. So I was looking through the dollar bin, and I found this. It's called Shutdown. And it says, listen to Shutdown. You can almost smell the rubber burn. So I seen this. It's like, wow, that's that record. It's got the Beach Boys doing Shutdown, which I hear that song periodically on XM. And you got the Beach Boys with 409, those two. The other than that, you really don't hear much of these. Chicken by the Cheers, Wide Track by the Superstocks, Brontosaurus Stomp by the Pilt Down Men, Four on the Floor by the Superstocks, Black Denim Trousers and Motorcycle Boots by the Cheers. That's a good song. Street Machine, the Superstocks, and The Ballad of Thunder Road by Robert Mitchum. That's a great song. I think I have that on 45. Hot Rod Race by Jimmy Dolan, Car Trouble by the Eligibles, and Cheater Slicks by the Superstocks. But this is on Capitol. It's probably a rare record. I don't know. I mean, it was, like I said, in the dollar bin. But I was really thrilled to find it because it's just one of them things from your childhood that you have, and I don't know, it's just like a nostalgic thing, I suppose. But that's like some music that my dad probably would have listened to, so it could have been his record that I had as a kid. I don't know. And then John Clemmer, Solo Saxophones 2, Life. I'd never seen this one. I had another one in my stack, and Kat said I had the other one, but I didn't have this one. So, Electra. You've heard us talk a lot about John Clemmer, great artist, great saxophonist. Show the back. This one came out in 1981. And this record, I want to say that I'd seen this one before, but I'm not positive. I know I'd seen it online with like bad album covers and so on, because I look at that stuff all the time. Plus, I have several books, and I've said that before. By the way, I apologize for repeating myself in my videos, but but I bought this one because I wasn't sure that I ever had it. The Queen Request, Paul Evelyn Command Performances, or Command Performance. Just one of those ridiculous covers. So great. The smoke out of the cartoon smoke coming out of the boat there has him playing his little organ in the smoke, supposedly. And then here's the back. Just one of those weird things that probably would have never existed today. This would have never came out on CD, and it would probably have never been reissued on vinyl. And that's really why I collect vinyl, because a lot of stuff that you find on vinyl, you'll never find it on a CD or a download or whatever. I can't say never. A lot of it you will, but there's probably more that you won't. And it's the same thing with DVDs. You know, a lot of stuff that was never put on VHS, there's no way to get it anymore. And then a lot of stuff that was on VHS, it's never been put out on DVD. And then probably to a certain extent, maybe Blu-ray is the same way, but you know, that's why people collect, I suppose. This record here, I'm not sure if I had it, but for 99 cents, Culture Club. This one's called Waking Up with the House on Fire. This was close to one of their last records they did before Boy George went off the deep end. Some good artwork there on the back. This one has the War Song on it and Mistake Number 3. And let's see, does it have? No. There's a song they do called Love is Love, and it's not on this album, but that's a great song too. But I like Culture Club and Boy George solo stuff too that I've heard. I think that he's a great singer. I think he has a great voice. You know, regardless of what you think about him, you know. So yeah, for $1. And if I already have it, you know, that's not the first time that I've bought a record twice. And, you know, Kat would say probably more than twice if I ask her. And then this record, she had 2 of these, so that's funny. And she gave me one. I probably have it, but I'm not sure. Keel, The Right to Rock. I just, you know, wanted to make sure. You know, I like Keel. I know I have one of their records, but I couldn't tell you which one. And this one looks like it's on it's on Gold Mountain. It says A&M. That's sort of odd. Don't have the original sleeve with it, but has The Right to Rock on here. I think was the only video that I remember from this album. But this album was produced by Gene Simmons. Recorded at the record plant in Los Angeles. So that's interesting. So there you have it. So that's all I have in my vinyl update, CD / stuff. Thanks for watching and subscribing and so on. And we'll see you the next time around on As I Stumble Over My Words for the next vinyl update.